aspiring cooks of the internet. How are we today?
Yay!
Ah, roar studio applause. How I love to hear it. Uncle Melty's Kitchen is back. That magical show where I teach all you stupid little monsters how to make food because you don't know how to make food. I know this because you told me. You asked for this. You literally asked for this. To be more specific, I teach young, dumb, idiot metalheads like you, not so much you, definitely you, how to make restaurant-quality food with stuff from your local grocery store. How we feeling, Anna?
Woo!
Yeah! By the way, that's our lovely camera woman director, Anna. Wow, what the fuck is up? Have you got a drink?
I do.
Wonderful. I'm gonna have a drink. I already have a drink. I had a gin and tonic earlier that I still have to finish. But I feel like having a shot because it's been a while. I want to celebrate being back here today, making duck confit gnocchetti with almond pesto and sun-dried tomatoes. How does that sound?
Yay!
Ah! The studio does not fail. You're all very smart, very intelligent. Cheers to everyone at home. That is delicious. All right, duck confit gnocchetti. What is that? That sounds weird. That sounds scary. Last time you were making fried chicken, Robert, I hear you. I fear you, but also just shut your fucking mouth for like a minute. Just a minute. Let me cook, both figuratively and also literally. Duck confit is duck. Wow, delicious duck right here. Look at that. Look at that.
Yummy.
Look at that. Look at that. Are you looking? You
Yeah.
fucking better be. And gnocchetti is a type of pasta. Now you may be asking yourself now, Robert, where's the fucking pasta, you stupid idiot? You haven't been drinking that much off camera, have you? And to that I respond, yes I have. But also, we don't have pasta just yet because we're gonna make it together. You, me, here, right now. It's not complicated, I promise you. You can make this exact pasta with a few ingredients that you probably already have at home right now. Gnocchetti is a dumpling-like pasta similar to a gnocchi. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it might literally mean little gnocchi. Can I get a fact check on that, Mrs. Italian lady?
I think it might. I don't know.
Wonderful. That counts.
Yeah.
And it's made with equal parts regular all-purpose flour, right here, and polenta, or semolina flour. Same diff, really, at least as far as this recipe is concerned. And also equal parts regular water. Nothing special here. So let's do it. Let's make some pasta. Let's go. Polenta. I've got 310 grams to be exact because that's literally what I had left. 310 grams of all-purpose flour. 310 milliliters, not grams, of just regular water. That's it. Nothing crazy, nothing special. We're gonna start mixing some of this together. As you can see, it's already starting to get into a nice doughy consistency. I was an idiot. I grabbed a spatula. What we've got to do is we've got to knead it together by hand. Don't worry if it's too clumpy. Don't worry if it's too wet. You can always add a little extra flour and semolina, or you can always add a little extra water if the dough is not to your desired texture and fucking hand feel. As much as I was hoping this wouldn't have to go on the counter, this is the part where it probably does have to go on the counter a little bit. I'm going to use a little bit of excess semolina here, just so it doesn't stick to the counter. And kaboom jams. Okay, that's not a bad texture and consistency. I want some more flour just to help smooth it out here on the counter. Does Mrs. Fresh Italian Pasta have any commentary? How am I doing so far?
You're doing good. I trust you.
And voila, we've got a little bit of it rolled out. These aren't the prettiest looking, but we got little dumpling shapes, kinda, sorta. And that's what we're going for. We're gonna do this with all our rolls now. Before I met you, I had a date where I made fresh gnocchi for someone.
Aww.
Yeah. It ended okay.
And we can see what the result of that now.
You know, I don't wish her any harm. It's all good. It just didn't work out. Sometimes that's how life is, you know?
And then you met me and I fucking attached myself to you like a parasitic worm.
And now I can't get rid of you! And Lord knows I've tried!
You know when sharks have those like sucker fish attached to them?
In this scenario, am I a shark?
Yeah, you be the shark.
Okay, that's kind of badass. I can live with that, actually.
Annoying little sucker fish.
This is taking longer than expected, and it makes me happy that I did everything else already, because that stuff is time consuming. Oh yeah, that reminds me. So, duck confit is kind of a long, big process. So for the purposes of this video, I kind of did everything in advance. What I did was I cured my duck legs overnight. Salt, sage, thyme, rosemary, a little bit of orange rind. And then the process of confit duck is to slow roast in fat. In the case of duck confit, you would want to slow roast it in duck fat. So that's what I spent most of the day here doing. I had my oven at about 300 for roughly 2.5 hours or so. The great thing about duck confit is that you can reuse the duck fat afterwards to make more confit, garlic confit, potato confit, tomato confit, more duck confit for that matter. You can also store everything in that excess fat. So you could make a bunch of duck confit for like a party, have a bunch left over, put it in a container with the cool duck fat, and in theory it should last like forever, more or less. More or less.
Yeah.
As for our sun-dried tomatoes, I have to concede I cheated a little bit. They aren't sun-dried in the traditional sense. I sliced some grape tomatoes in half. Same thing, roasted at 2.5 hours in the oven at 300 degrees. Olive oil, salt, a little rosemary, a little thyme. Not the most traditional, I know, but give me a fucking break. It's fall and I live in Toronto, okay? Okay? My pesto was also made a little while ago. It's a standard pesto recipe. Parsley, basil, Parmesan cheese, garlic, salt, pepper. I also used a bunch of extra herbs from my mom's garden because she gave us a bunch of extra herbs. And instead of pine nuts, which you would traditionally find in pesto, I used almonds. No particular reason, that's just what was available to me. As long as you have that nutty flavor, that's kind of what you're looking for. Pine nuts are not a necessity, per se. In fact, I sometimes like to use walnuts because you get that more earthy, gritty kind of flavor that contrasts well with like certain pastas and certain meats. This took longer than expected, but we finally did it. And honestly, they started to look really good near the end.
They do look good.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that little dumpling. We got a whole bowl full of little gnocchetti dumplings here.
Little dumps.
Use the camera. That's right, little dumps. Little dumpy poos, that's all. Alright, so something you should know about fresh pasta. Now, dry pasta will pretty much always take 8 minutes to cook. In the case of any dumpling pasta, when it floats, it's good. Fresh pasta takes no time. None. Whatsoever. Like, we're looking at least a 2-minute, at most really, a 2-minute fucking cook time with boiling hot water. Again, with any dumpling pasta, once it floats, it's fucking done. So I highly recommend, if you do this at home, when you do this at home, you have a fucking strainer in the sink ready to fucking go. Speaking of which, I'm gonna take my advice, get a fucking strainer ready.
Yeah.
And away we go. No, it's fine, Anna. Don't bother bringing the camera over here. It's all good.
Alright, I'll do it.
It's
I guess
fine.
I'll do it.
Yeah, that way they can see what's happening. This went right into boiling water. The temperature's gone down as a result of that, but that's fine. This should only take 2 minutes to cook. Once again, once they're afloat, they're done. Alright, it took a little longer than expected, but our pasta is done. Strain. Hopefully I don't need to teach y'all how to strain a fucking pot, although who knows. And now let's begin with everything else. The hard stuff is done. Everything else was already done before that camera even turned on. Let's fucking go. Got my electric frying pan set to roughly 350 degrees. This is our finished duck confit. Take the meat off the bone. Don't be afraid to get right in there and get your hands dirty.
Yeah,
look at all that
bird.
delicious. Look at all that delicious fucking duck meat. All right, so we're officially making the rest of the pasta now. Like I said, we've got our duck confit all shriveled up. I don't need to do anything with these tomatoes. I don't need to do anything with my pesto. I've got some excess duck fat from the confit here. It's got some herbs as well in there.
Mmm, delicious.
And that's what we're gonna use to oil our pan. We're gonna turn that the fuck down and we're also gonna back away because oil's hot. If you don't believe me, that's all oil burns. This is all oil burns. That's an oil burn.
I know.
You wonder why I don't have tattoos? This is literally fucking why. It'll be destroyed within a fucking day. There's our duck. Yummy, delicious, tasty, yum, yum, yum in your tum-tum-tum.
Sounds very good.
It does, doesn't it? All right, let's dump our pasta in. Back away, back away, back away.
Look at all those precious little dumplings.
That looks pretty good. This is our pesto. I made this at the restaurant where I work with a bunch of different herbs, but it's primarily basil, parsley, Parmesan cheese, garlic, a lot of olive oil. The olive oil is going to help it stay fresh for a longer period of time.
Looks a little bit like swamp water, but
you're gonna want to. There's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. You're gonna want to drain some of the excess oil, especially if you did make it from scratch. But don't get rid of that delicious stuff.
All the good pesto looks like swamp water.
Pesto itself does not take long to make. It's just I already had it made, hence why we didn't make it today.
You also need a lot of herbs to make it.
I do also need a lot of herbs. That's maybe one downside to actually making pesto. But it's okay, because it all works out in the end. And that smells delicious. Right off the bat, I'm getting all that basil, I'm getting all that parsley, I'm getting that garlic. I'm also getting those almonds, which I toasted in advance of making the pesto. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and use the rest of this.
Yeah.
Why not? Who doesn't love a good saucy pasta?
Exactly. The more pesto,
I know
the
you
better.
do.
Yes.
We've got our oven-dried, or sun-dried, big quotation marks, tomatoes. Once again, this went in the oven for 2.5 hours, 300 degrees, just in a fucking regular baking tray sheet thing with fucking parchment paper, olive oil, salt, rosemary, thyme. Easy fucking peasy. Boom. I'm using sun-dried tomatoes because, first off, I want color, because right now this is all green and yellow. Secondly, because sun-dried tomatoes, you're going to get more juice out of that tomato rather than just regularly cooking them down. You're going to get a more unique texture. It's going to look a little bit better too, you know? It adds wisdom to the pasta. It's wrinkled. It just looks and tastes better in my opinion.
A little bit of that acid is good.
Correct as well. Dare I argue, nearly ready to eat. But yet, it is not. There's one thing we still have to add. Some cheese.
The most important thing.
Parmesan and Pecorino. Either is good. I've got both. And I'm only going to add a little bit into the actual pasta because I did use some Parmesan cheese in the actual pesto. Plus, we're also going to garnish with a little bit of extra Parmesan and Pecorino at the very end. So we're just adding a little bit right now. All right, let's go. Cool. Just a nice generous scoop right on the plate. No special herbs, no special garnish or spices. Just good old-fashioned fucking pasta. Our duck confit gnocchetti with almond pesto and sun-dried tomatoes. And a fucking shitload of fucking cheese right on god dang top. Booyah! Pass it here, Anna. Dig in. How is it? Tell us.
Give me a little bit of that. Where's the little bit of the... There we go. A little bit of the duck with that.
A little bit of the duck. Yeah? Alright, my turn. Let's see if this is worth the hype.
Pretty fucking good.
That's pretty fucking good. I wouldn't mind the pasta to be a little softer.
I like the texture of the pasta.
That duck though. That duck though. Holy
It just
shit.
makes it so rich.
I think I knocked it out of the park. I'm gonna take one more little dumpling. Gnocchetti, I should say. But yeah, that's delicious. There you have it, Uncle Melty's kitchen, making duck confit gnocchetti with almond pesto and sun-dried tomatoes. Wow, that was so good. Now it's your turn to make it. You better fucking make it. If you don't, I will hunt you down. I will hunt you down. I will make your life a living hell.
He will.
Tell us what you want to see. I will. That's right. Tell us what you want to see next on the Metal Meltdown on Uncle Melty's Kitchen. Make the food, have fun. I hope that this was great and informative, and I hope that what you make is as tasty as what I have made. And as always, where's the middle of the screen? Like the bottom middle.
Right there.
Boom.
Yeah.
Press that button to subscribe. Look, other videos. Oh my god! And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.